Have you smelled the perfume that almost everyone praises, but then also secretly wondered if it's actually worth all the hype? Well, today we are going to talk about Bleu de Chanel EDP, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion. No brand loyalty, no influencer scripts, and no sponsorships. Just straight up, brutal honesty, really. Now, before you click away thinking that's Bleu de Chanel, you've heard it all before, please stay with me. Because after wearing this fragrance extensively, I've discovered something that most reviews either completely ignore or are too afraid to say it. Bleu de Chanel EDP was launched by Chanel as the middle child between the fresh EDT and the deeper Parfum version. The perfume opens with a big burst of citrus, grapefruit, lemon, and a clean freshness that immediately feels expensive. Not luxurious, but expensive. There's a difference. The perfume smells like quality. From the very first spray, it smells quality. As it starts to settle on your skin, the magic of Bleu de Chanel actually begins to reveal itself. What you get in this perfume is ginger, touch of spice, woods, and that signature Chanel refinement that actually made this perfume a legend. If I'd have to summarize it, I'd say it's classy, smooth, and unmistakably Chanel. Everything is blended perfectly and beautifully in this perfume. Nothing screams, nothing feels harsh, nothing feels out of place. And I think that's precisely why millions of men love it. But here's the most brutally honest part. Here's the moment of truth. So Bleu de Chanel's greatest strength is also its biggest and greatest weakness. And that is, do you know what? Let you guess it. What happened? You can't guess it? Okay, I'll say it myself. It's just too damn bloody perfect, man. It's just, you can't criticize this perfume. It's so well behaved, so versatile, and it's just so easy to wear that it really surprises you. Now, having said that, I don't want people to think that this is the kind of perfume that walks into a room and steals everyone's attention. In fact, I'd say that this is the kind of perfume that secretly and quietly earns your respect, if you know what I mean. So therefore, if you are looking for something that's unique and nobody else wears, then this isn't it. Let's be honest. Bleu de Chanel is one of the most popular men's fragrances on the planet. Now, it's been on the markets for too long that I'm pretty sure, in fact, I'm fairly certain that you've smelled it before. Maybe on a colleague, maybe on a friend, or maybe on that guy who always seems to have his life together. Are you that guy? Look, if uniqueness is your number one priority, then there are other better options available on the market. Now let's talk about the performance of the perfume. Since I live in the UK, it's important to give you some context. Our weather is generally much cooler than what you'll find in places where summer hits regularly 35 to 40 degrees, or at times even higher. So on my skin in the UK climate, I get around 7 to 9 hours of wear with moderate projection. The first couple of hours are strong enough for people around you to notice. Then it settles into this classy scent bubble that remains dictatable throughout most of the day. Now, I genuinely believe that the cooler weather here helps this Bleu EDP massively to perform consistently. So if you're from the Middle East or subcontinent, then I can't confidently tell you how this perfume would perform in those countries where summer temperature exceeds about 40 degrees regularly. So I don't think I'd be the right guy to tell you about the performance or longevity of this perfume if you're from a hotter country. Because what happens is that in extreme heat, perfumes can behave very differently. Some project more, some fade away quicker, some become a little overwhelming. So rather than pretending that I know, I'll just stick to what I've experienced personally, if it makes sense. These Western perfumes don't really have a high dose of oil concentration in them. So if you're from a hotter country where the slightest body movements can make you sweat heavily, then therefore I don't think the oil would last on your skin for long. But here in the UK, this Bleu de Chanel EDP delivers a very reliable performance and gives me very little to complain about. Now, it's not the most beast mode fragrance, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad that it isn't, because otherwise it would ruin that elegant character of Bleu de Chanel EDP if it projected like a nightclub fragrance. As for compliments, yes, you'll get them, but not necessarily because people are blown away. You'll get compliments because you smell clean, confident, mature, and approachable. This fragrance doesn't really shout, it communicates if you're smart enough to understand what that means. Now, let's answer the question that everyone really wants answered. Is Bleu de Chanel EDP worth the money in 2026? And my answer is yes, but with a condition. If you're buying this fragrance expecting it to be the most unique fragrance out there in the world, then you'll be disappointed. If you're buying it expecting it to be the most loudest fragrance in the room, then guess what? You'll definitely be disappointed. But if you're buying it because you want that one fragrance in particular that can handle dates, office, weddings, engagement parties, interviews, conferences, carnivals, baby shower, Eid, Christmas, Easter, Nowruz, Jalda nights, Midsummer, Mid-Autumn Festival, Hakuna Matata, the Ethiopian Tim card, first impression, second impression, with the exception of funerals and in any situation imaginable, then I still think that this is one of the best fragrances that money can buy. Now, my final verdict, Bleu de Chanel EDP is not the king because it's the most exciting fragrance out there on the market. In fact, it's the king because it is the kind of fragrance that would almost never fail you, if you know what I mean. Rating, without a doubt, 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, it's not incredible, it's not revolutionary, but it's extremely, extremely reliable. And sometimes reliability is exactly what makes a perfume legendary. Now, I want to hear from you that whether Bleu de Chanel EDP deserves its legendary status or is it simply just surviving on hype. Drop your opinions in the comment section, and if you enjoy brutally honest perfume reviews with no sugarcoating, then hit that subscribe button because we've got plenty more coming. I'm actually building this channel around honesty and not hype. So if that's something that you appreciate, then I'd love to have you along for the journey. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.